The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Hey, welcome to Sin City Bounty. Whoa, I'm echoey. Very echoey today. Hello. Kind of sexy.
No, I turned the speakers off.
Oh.
There we go.
Only he has a speaker.
That's it.
Hey, we've got Darren here in studio. Darren is from the League of Extraordinary Nobodies. We had his partner in crime, Kevin, with the big beard, who I understand has no beard anymore.
No, he took it off.
No. Did he really?
Yeah. He trimmed it, but
Yeah.
the length is gone. It's all
Only
gone.
about this long now.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah.
have him back in studio. But we're gonna get all of these guys from the league.
A girl talked to him.
I assume he'd been growing it since like he was 13 or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. Like, I've never seen a picture of him young with without the beard. So I have this joke with him where there's like an orphanage that burned down that had the pictures. They don't exist anymore.
Anyway, we got lots of cool things to talk about today. First things first, though, for those of you who don't follow Toxie O'Shea on Facebook, yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday! What are you, 29?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tell everybody what you did for your birthday.
No,
It was amazing. I worked, and then I sat at soccer, and then I worked on a school project.
Wait. I'm sorry. The day before your birthday.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't realize you meant okay. Beyond my actual birthday, I went out with a couple friends. So we went out to one of our usual hangs. We went to the Rooster.
The Red Rooster, for those of you who don't know, is a swingers club here in Vegas.
Right. And I will tell you that I've had people say to me many times before, like, God, you guys go there a lot. You talk about the swingers a lot.
Well, the people
Our
watching
swingers
is
club.
extraordinarily fun, I have to say. Because there's always some woman running around completely naked.
There was no shortage of that.
Right? There's always some really old guy, nothing but a towel.
Right. And in many cases, that really old guy in the corner is totally jerking off.
Right.
So it's great.
And then the young crowd comes in about 11 p.m., takes over the dance floor, and lots of...
I actually, this time, no sound. Just humming. Damn it, I thought
You're
I
not
did
plugged
good.
in, that's why.
Oh, I'm plugged in the back.
What's going on?
I thought I did it. I was so proud of
You
myself.
totally backdoored the... That's hilarious.
There we
Is
go.
that better?
Side.
See, Sierra
that?
always said I take it in the rear, so
That
apparently
better?
that's
Is that better?
let's see.
I think that might be way too loud.
Is that I just asked if it's better. Sorry.
There we go. That might be a lot better. Always with the technical issues. We don't have Sierra today. Sierra is traveling the Northwest.
Yes.
She is at Coffee Mecca. I said that to somebody today, and they didn't know what I was talking about. Seattle, for those of you who don't know, where Starbucks was born and bred, and where I want my ashes spread when I die. So
Starbucks?
I'm
In a
such
Starbucks.
a coffee fan.
Me
Coffee,
too.
bean, and tea leaf. I don't care. Anywhere there's coffee. But if by chance I can go to Seattle and have my ashes spread there, then by all means.
The place is great. They have coffee and vending machines up there. That's the best part about that city.
In Starbucks?
Not in the Starbucks,
Oh.
but around the city. There's vending machines. I've seen them.
Just like freestanding like a soda machine or something? It's coffee
Yeah, and you just
machine?
kind of hold out a cup and it just pours into
That
the...
is awesome.
Yeah.
When Wendy of Neverland said Sierra's on the witness protection program again. So that happens. It happens sometimes. Now they got humming.
Speaking of Wendy of Neverland, I saw a picture of your meatballs today. And I also saw that, I don't think it was Toxie, but one of your friends commented that they wanted all the balls.
That was me. Somebody said that, I guess it was ironic that, she was talking about putting balls in her mouth. And I'm like, I will take all the balls. I meant meatballs, but I offered to take one for the team.
So you had something that you wanted to talk about.
Oh, so I was talking about Saturday night. By the way, just totally random, something we don't see that often, although it happens. Total random blowjob out on the dance floor. Like all my friends are going, look.
I
Like,
thought
oh,
I did.
wow.
I thought at the Rooster they tried to contain that kind of stuff to the rooms.
Right. Apparently, in this case, it wasn't because
Oh.
she was completely naked and.
Was it one of the volunteer
was.
workers? Because
No.
you can volunteer to work at the Red Rooster.
I did once when I was really drunk.
Noted.
I asked for a job. I have a job. I was just really drunk. And the first time I'd have to clean up spooge, I'd be like, no, I quit. You want me to clean the pool? No. I quit. I see what's floating in there. So not happening. But I was explaining before I found a new trick. And so I think I'm going to try using it every time I'm out. And, somebody comes and talks to me, and maybe I'm just not as interested in talking. But this gentleman came over, and he immediately, started rubbing my leg, and he's like, hey, how's it going?
Wait. Did he pull a Trump on you? He just automatically started
He
touching you?
Yeah, he just went right there and started rubbing my leg. And so I turn, I'm like, hey. And he's like, so my name is, and he said his name, and I just turned. And I put the most serious look on my face that I could have after 3 Jaegers. And I said, really? That's my ex-husband's name. And slowly his hand moved off. And he kind of turned, he's like, yeah, he's looking for his friends. All right. And then he just kind of left. And so I'm going to do it every time now, whether it's his name or not. I'm going to do it every time.
But what if you find him attractive?
Oh, then I won't do it.
Oh.
Then I'll be like, I have another leg over here.
So with all the, there's been these new women coming out talking about all these things that Trump did to them. Mm-hmm. I have a little bit of, I'm not a Trump fan by any means, but I have a little bit of an issue of them coming out now, right?
Right.
But then you tell me the story, and if he was attractive, you'd let him rub both legs.
No, I don't necessarily think I would. That was kind of exaggerating.
Women,
But
I hate to generalize, but women are kind of crazy. And
Yeah,
I actually see this
I'm
kind of
totally
thing a lot in another community that I'm involved in, right? Where the guy who they don't want advances from or smiles, just smiles from, will call him creepy and make him. Have you ever been the creepy guy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
have they ever told you you're creepy?
Like to your face?
That was all through high school. Was you're creepy, you're random, you're weird, you're strange. Why do you shave your head like that?
How
Yeah.
do you deal with that? I mean, do you
That was just the
do you,
treatment
yell
everybody
back?
gave me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was just the treatment everybody gave me.
You
I don't
just
know. I was just
call
a weird
them names
kid. Yeah.
back?
I just kept being myself. You
Right.
can't stop being yourself in that situation. What are you gonna do? Start acting the way they want you to?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stand in a corner. You don't control my brain.
So, in this community that I'm involved in, there's a lot of great-looking guys in this community, which is awesome. But there are, you're not so great-looking guys, and if they flirt with a girl or if they say something that the hot guy just said, they get called creepy, they get complained about, and it's like a double standard, right? Is that what it's
Right.
called, a double standard?
I think so.
And it's horrible, and I hate when that happens. As an elder or leader in that community, I'm always having to sit people down and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? he likes you. You know, if you don't want to talk to him, just say thanks, but not interested.
Right. I'm pretty nice like that. Like if I'm not interested, I'll express it.
Right.
But I don't like people touching me. I mean, I really was joking when I'm like, here's another thigh.
Right.
I don't like random people just touching me. And it happens. My ass gets touched a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, you've got a beautiful ass, so.
So it happens, and people will just I'm like, hey, back it up a little. It's one thing if I
touch,
say,
you can't touch me. I don't know you.
right? Like at least tell me your name, and then, and then maybe you can smack away.
I see some of the messages that you get on Facebook because of who you are, because you're Toxie, because you're part of the show. Through the website, I'm forwarding emails to you often.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure I know where those conversations are going.
Yes. And I have my, I get the direct messages and the abundance, even more so now of call. I guess because I said, I really hate when people call me on Facebook Messenger. I appreciate that we have people who like the show. I absolutely appreciate that. I just don't want you calling me at 3 a.m. to
Right.
ask if I'm wearing panties. I just, and we've never spoke before. It's, it's not really necessary.
I don't know
So,
you, but
I don't know you, but So, Kelly Guy said, good point, Alexia. The exact same behavior can be defined as creepy or romantic, depending only on whether the woman decides he is attractive.
That's exactly right. And it happens so often. Too often, in fact, that I just want to beat down some bitches sometimes, It's crazy.
Didn't Melania say that's how her and Donald met?
That he felt her up?
That he had grabbed her, or
I don't know.
She said that she wasn't that surprised by his action, because actually that's how we met.
From what I understand, she came out this week in defense of him.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. She was saying in defense of him, she was saying, well, I wasn't that surprised because that's actually how we met.
Can I share something really quick just in regards to that?
No,
and then we
should
can go
you want me to
back.
hit the beat button, or?
No.
Do we even have
No.
one of
Do we have
those?
one?
Yeah.
have
We
a beat
do?
button?
Yeah.
Do you have, and
You
you
wanna hear
haven't censored us yet?
You want me to-
Sure.
Beep.
there we go.
State of the art, man.
That's right.
State of the art. No, state of art, right?
State of the art.
State of the
Yeah,
art.
I was right the first time.
Yes, you were.
You were telling the
So
story.
I was. So the whole thing where I keep chopping up her name, but Melania.
Melania.
Thank you.
Like melanoma, but Melania.
Melania.
So
I call
M.
it first.
M's good.
M's good.
So she's getting a lot of people are really appreciating that she's standing by her man throughout this, and
Just
you know,
like
he-
Hillary did.
just like Hillary did, but the reverse, it's just a whole double standard there too.
Yeah,
So
because
one is beautiful.
they railed against Hillary for doing it, and now
Right.
they're supporting. But it's that division line, right, of
Yeah.
Republican versus Democrat, or liberal versus right wing, or I don't know how that sane people versus insane people.
You need to tune in to Joe and Heidi's show this Thursday.
Rise Above with Joe and Heidi, new premiering this week on Thursday on this station, www.dbcorp.com.
It's going
So.
to be the mental capacities.
Are you on the mic?
No.
Can
I
you
don't
be?
want people hearing what I'm
Can
saying.
you be on the mic, please? Because we're just standing here with nothing.
I don't feel like setting up the mic
Okay.
all the way over there. So what were we talking about?
Joe and Heidi's this
Joe and Heidi's show,
Thursday.
the new show. Okay, so their show this week is going to be about the mental capacities of liberals and conservatives.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it's going to be a very short on the conservative side.
Do you want to divulge your political stance with us, Darren?
Donald Trump is a madman gorilla. They can't.
So
He's not an
I'm not
adult.
sure.
No, he's not a goddamn adult. He has no aptitude for the presidency. I watched one of the GOP debates. Marco Rubio and him were kind of going tit for tat for a second, and they were talking about health care. And Donald Trump was doing that state lines thing about health care reform, where he's just like, got to have competition across the states. And Marco Rubio goes, but that's not comprehensive, though. And he's really trying to help him understand the concept of comprehensive, and he's not getting it. He's literally not intelligent enough to understand when someone is helping him when he doesn't deserve to be helped. He's a madman.
No.
It's
You want
great.
some water.
No, I have.
Would anyone in studio like some water?
I
would like
coffee
water.
because
Water would be
coffee.
good. Coffee's great.
He would like water.
He would like water.
Yeah. Hand-eye coordination.
Yes.
That's
We'll
awesome.
allow you to stand for the rest of the hour because you caught that.
So
Yes.
because you think Donald Trump is a madman,
Yeah.
madman, does that mean you're going to be voting for Hillary, or are you
Yeah.
picking one of the other crazy people?
Yeah. I'm voting for her. I'm not. I voted for Bernie Sanders, but I wasn't like one of those like Bernie or bust people.
Right.
I voted for him. I put in my time for him, but at the end of the day, it came down to Republicans just can't put forward a candidate who respects human beings.
Yeah, even now, less than 30 days in, even if they were to just put Mike Pence out there all by himself, Mike Pence is kind of a little way too
They
conservative.
can now, though. They waited too long.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
He has to choose to come off now at this point.
Right.
And he's not going to.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's that poor man.
You know, there are some very, I know we were joking before, but there are some very intelligent conservatives that have, you know, they're very much
They can't
aligned
win
with
now.
their party, and they
can't win now.
They can.
And they created such a huge field. They've been very lucky to win a lot of elections in the past 10 years that like they have so many people to pick from, and they had like 20 people just like, now's our chance, let's go. And it buried everything and let the guy who could just say bullshit.
Well, I know
Yeah.
back in 2013, the RNC said they were not going to do television ads for whatever presidential candidate that they were going to have. So they've been sinking whatever monies that they have gotten into local races for gubernatorial candidates and senatorial candidates and House candidates. So I know that that's where they're putting all that money.
But they don't need to put ads out. Trump has Twitter. Like
Trump-
they don't need ads.
He does have Twitter, but his money game is so underneath right now. It looks like his turnout, like that's going to be the hard part for him, is having people go out and bring people to polls. He lacks serious money. They diverted everything to Senate campaigns right now.
Well, that's what they were going
Yeah.
to do in the first place anyway.
And now he's shitting on Paul Ryan
Right.
and the Republicans in the Senate and the House, and he's basically tanking their chances of
Yeah.
really great chances of regaining those things. Like, they're blowing it. They're all blowing it. It's kind of fun to watch.
One of my favorite things that happened this week was Michelle Obama's speech.
Right.
Did you catch any
I
part of
did.
that?
I did.
Where
I
it
watched
was
the whole
all
thing.
about the young girl shit. Like Tuesday, she had the Tuesday before the news broke, she had just did this conference with a bunch of young girls from all over the country and all over the world, and she was feeling high about, you know, doing all this good work for all these women, and then it's trying to reconnect. It's and then to find out, you know, Friday about that Access Hollywood tape, and it just broke her heart, and you could feel the heartbreak that she had.
That just like, yeah, that's my dad. Like, she couldn't really. He's a bastard. Like, you can't. Like, you have to love your parents. Like, they go to jail.
Not that much money.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's people who go to prison and their children and their parents still love them,
Right.
even though it's like the most awful crime ever.
You know, the whole thing is, to me, is that I was okay with. I would have just loved for somebody to go, he was just wrong. It was wrong. It sucked.
Someone in
It's
his
shitty.
camp.
Yes.
There's plenty of people who are saying that.
Everybody
Right,
else
right,
is
right.
saying it's wrong. Just somebody to go like, yeah, kind of what he did is really shitty, and now we're gonna move forward, and he's learned his lesson, and blah blah blah. And instead, everything was, well, Bill has done worse. It was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just locker room talk.
It's just locker room
The
talk.
Ugh,
video
I hate
that I
that line.
posted on the Sin City Bounty Wall of your hometown.
Oh, it was amazing.
One of the things I was
I'm
able
so
to do
proud.
one of the things I was able to do today was hang out with my very small, very Asian, Americanized mom. And she belongs in Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre, sorry.
The one gentleman, I was pretty sure at first, I'm like, please don't let that be my dad. Please, Jesus, don't let that be my dad.
What's going on?
And then the one guy is like, what are you talking about? I want to grab all the pussies. And I'm like,
Oh,
please.
That was your neighbor
No.
Joe.
That was my dad's neighbor. I saw my dad behind him holding up the sign. My dad drove him there. It's...
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was sad. It was sad.
Are you local, Darren? Or
Yeah.
do you come from somewhere else?
I was born in Omaha, but I was raised here.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
don't have back home stories that you can be ashamed of?
It's Nebraska. There's got to be something. But yeah, I mean, you got people that have crazy opinions and you ignore them. I got my family's pretty Republican on my mom's side, but there's people that I respect their opinion and they respect mine.
Right.
Like that matters. There's family members who have unfriended me. Whatever. Yeah. If that's how you like handle family because of an opinion, that's not even over something that has to do with family
Right.
or something like that. It's just, what's the point? Yeah.
I
Really.
have one of my favorite family members whom I adore, is a Trump supporter. Like, he's even, he's like carrying around his laptop and it's got a big old Trump sticker on it. And I'm like, we're just going to agree not to talk about this because I still want to love you. And I
Yeah.
still, I still want to pretend I know you. So
That's kind of where I'm
we're
at
just
with some
gonna,
people.
yeah, we're just going to back off this discussion. And
I have found the breaking point when I'm talking with my mom. We were talking about Black Lives Matter and Donald Trump and the locker room, and he's just a guy, and and my mom is so conservative, which is so weird to me. But I've learned that breaking point when her voice starts to get just a little bit louder. I know to back off just a little bit and not talk about it anymore. And usually I know that I should never bring it up. So when I go to the house and her husband is home and the kids are there, I don't even bother talking politics, but they will bring it up. And being the kind of person I am, I have to start arguing. I have to, because your thinking is just so mentally deranged right now about the subject. I have to say something, but I've learned the signs.
Yeah.
That's with family. Friends, no signs will help you.
Black Lives Matter is the harder discussion to get across to some people.
Yeah.
That's the one that a lot of people don't understand. They can't comprehend it. It's a very binary thing for them.
Yes. And of course, the last thing they always say is all lives matter.
right.
And that's not the point.
Yeah. That's not the point. No, if black people were saying Black Lives Matter and not white people, that would be a reason to say all lives matter. That's a good reason. That's Black Lives Matter, and I'm threatened by a slogan because it didn't end with a period, so it would be simpler for me to understand is frightening to me. Ugh.
I know we did a whole show on that because when Facebook erupted, I don't know if you were privy to any of that in your own timeline, but Facebook, yeah, it's
Should I pull
off and
mine
on.
up?
Yeah.
No. I think it's still there because it comes up. See, it's
Oh,
there
there it
again,
is.
and then it goes. So
It's back.
I'm just hoping that I have you guys on camera when we're talking. So the other reason that I posted the video about your hometown was because The View mentioned it this morning, when I was rewatching
Well, it was,
the news.
May is a skink said, "All men talk like that" is the one phrase that has bothered me the most over the past week. And it was in that video, I'm almost positive, because after I watched it, I shed a little tear. I changed my hometown to somewhere else, somewhere completely
Bloomington.
out there.
Did you seriously do that? Because I probably so would have.
So I'm technically from a town 10 minutes from there.
Oh, okay.
So. But when I identify where I'm from, that's the town that I say. But,
Mayberry Pride. Fuck
Yeah,
Wilkes-Barre.
But they went around and they asked. They said, somebody's like, "Oh, locker room talk. All men say that." And then the guy was like, "Does your husband say that?" "Well, no." Does your son say that?" "No." "Did your dad?" "No."
My mom would smack me if I said that to anybody.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, that video, that was taken by the Nightly Show. No, not the Nightly Show. That one's been canceled. The Daily Show, right? It was the Daily Show. One of the comedians went to a Trump rally in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And
It was one of
interviewed-
that particular rally. I don't know if it's changed in that past week, but it was it set records for being the most
Right.
attended rally. So
Was it
Yay,
also
I'm
at that
sorry.
rally where the cars were vandalized? The Trump. Okay, so I am quite liberal. I don't normally align myself with a Democrat. I'm nonpartisan. As a voter, I'm a nonpartisan. Although this year I did change to Democrat so I could vote in the primary, because in Nevada you have to be a Democrat or a Republican to vote in the primary. So I registered Democrat so I could vote for your buddy,
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders. And I haven't changed it. I'm not going to change it till after the election. I'll go back to being nonpartisan again. But now that I am aligned as a Democrat, and I hear the news that someone, I'm not saying the Democrats that did it, but someone has vandalized cars outside of a Trump rally, firebombed,
that's in North Carolina.
yeah,
Oh, that's in North
firebombed
Carolina.
one of those political offices places, right? And then another drew painted swastikas and said, "Go home, Republican scum, Nazi Republican scum," or something like that.
And that was
Stop
in North
that.
Carolina too, right?
Was that in North Carolina as well?
I think that the swastika and the firebombing, I didn't hear about the rally thing, but I think both of those happened in North Carolina, from what I remember.
Well, I guess we already knew that the North Carolinians are kind of crazy anyway.
Well, do you know what happened after?
No.
The Democratic Party took up a GoFundMe page, and they they had to turn the page off. They collected enough money to rebuild everything,
Nice.
replace everything.
See, those are the kinds of Democrats I want to align with.
It was Trump supporters did it.
Do you think
Yeah.
so?
Absolutely.
You think it's that conspiracy? Is this like an entire conspiracy?
It's simply a possibility because of that lady that carved the Barack Obama's initials into her cheeks in 2008, but she did it backwards in a mirror. You don't know. I'd rather there wasn't a firebombing, but yeah, I have no clue what happened there. They'll find out.
You know, I, who love conspiracy theories, never even thought to think of that.
That was the first thing I thought of.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. All right, I'm done. I'm like done.
Same.
Fast forward to November 9th.
I am ready for
No,
it to be
28th,
over.
November 28th.
Thanksgiving?
What are you talking about?
That's the day we go vote. Republicans, go vote, November 28th.
Yeah, wasn't there a sign?
According to
Yeah.
As Donald Trump has.
That's what Trump supporters. Because the one on the 8th is a conspiracy.
Right.
It's rigged so that the people won't go and vote
Well-
on the real.
Oh, that's
That's
sad.
the other thing. He's already prepping it to be, that the
Yeah,
rigged.
for the last 3-4 days. That's all he's been talking about.
I
Yeah.
have to admit, with the exception of, when I go on Fox News, it's totally different. But I will admit a lot of the other media is very obviously anti-Trump. However,
No, it's not.
It's
Wait,
not.
wait.
It's not anti-Trump. No.
They're not
It's
trying
not
hard
that they're
enough.
It's not
anti-Trump.
anti-Trump. He's giving them plenty of ammunition
Yeah.
to report on. Yes. No. I. That is what I mean. I mean, he's giving them plenty to report on, but it's just constantly like front and center.
Right.
So, I mean, he
They're
does have a
doing their-
point. Granted, yes, he is the one perpetuating this, but
Yeah, he's doing it to himself and the party as a whole. Because I was thinking about that earlier, where he's like, "Oh, it's all rigged," and then it's gonna bottom out because you're gonna have Republicans who aren't gonna vote for him, and you're gonna have people that don't show up. Period. You're gonna have all these people who are super mad and think that the Republicans who are in now are the ones that did it to him, that they betrayed him, and then in the primaries, you're gonna get like the logical conclusion of the Tea Party in the next midterms.
So one of the things that I've been listening to lately is I believe a lot of people are thinking that Hillary Clinton, even though she is sitting on her hands and not really doing a lot, she is sending people to work on the red states.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So like Bernie Sanders is going to spend like 2 weeks in Arizona because record numbers of Democrats have been registered to vote in this election.
Here too.
Yes,
Yeah.
record numbers.
Yeah.
And so she it's like she wants that whole landslide thing going.
Yeah.
She's like,
No,
"Fuck
she's
this,
going
I'm
for it
going
now."
for that. I'm gonna go for it.
Kelly Guy said there's a new videotape out today of Democratic operatives admitting to paying people to incite violence at Trump rallies.
Did that come out like just now? Because I've been on the news all day.
Check the source.
Yeah.
Check the source.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
If it says
Right.
Breitbart at the bottom, just delete that right now.
All the president's men.
Although I will say the National Enquirer came out today to say that I believe, if I read it correct, that that some of Hillary's lesbian lovers are coming out.
Oh.
So,
Oh, well, good.
And I mean, they did call it right on.
Won't that just expand her
Uh,
base?
I think so. They did call it right though on what's his name, John Edwards, and his love child. So I mean, I feel like the Enquirer
Yeah.
is a real source now.
I'm sure there's people who will make that claim. It's just like, she's a lesbian, she has a dick. Make up your minds.
All of
That's
the above.
I would still vote for
They
her.
all do
Oh,
that.
It's I'm sorry. Hillary Hitman tells all. Hillary Fixer. I arranged sex trysts for her with men and women.
Oh, you mean she has her own version of the Red Rooster somewhere over there in
Apparently.
Washington?
Just a guy who's
And how do
her
we
own
get
red
in on
rooster.
this?
He's
Like,
bringing them all in.
That's right. Her friend named Red Rooster.
Yeah.
How do we get in on this? Like, I mean, I'll make an exception.
I'm
Hillary,
sure if
get
we
me
put
on.
a call out, we could get plenty of guys to be your personal Red Rooster.
Oh man.
On Twitter, I don't as often as I should go on Twitter. To our Cincinnati Bounty Twitter feed, but there is a gentleman on there who really wants to get into the porno movies and publicly tweeted us about how he likes big boobs and big butts and really belongs in porn movies. He just can't seem to find any and are hoping we could guide him.
Is he the same guy who keeps asking me for a job on all of my posts? where like every post, can you get me a job? And at first, maybe he's local. Like, I didn't go through his profile. And I'm like, what are you looking for? Maybe I can make some calls. Like, maybe I can see what I can find. I don't think I can help him.
Craigslist.
Yeah, I actually do have connections to that.
We actually
but
do.
I don't
Even
think
I,
can
who have
help
been
him.
away from the show for so long,
Yeah.
still have connections in the porn industry.
Yeah.
So,
Kelly Guy said, I just saw it this evening. I've seen the tape.
all right.
Send it to us
Right now.
right now.
That's right.
Send it to me via
Callie
Facebook, Kelly
Guy is
Kelly
not
Guy,
a social
yeah.
media guy.
No, he's not.
So
Oh.
he'll have to forward the email to Sierra, and
Yeah.
Sierra
and she'll
can
send it to us.
share
Copy
it with
and
the
link
rest
it
of
and
us.
post it in the comments.
I mean, it probably is out there. There's a lot of like random
Videos.
that I've been
Well,
seeing. Yeah, it's all coming out
WikiLeaks has
now.
been shut down, right? I think it was like the Venezuelan government or something like that, or
Ecuador.
Ecuadorian government like shut down the internet for Julian Assange. Is that his name, Julian Assange?
Yeah, that's the guy.
And but there was WikiLeaks of some of the emails, Hillary Clinton's emails that came out about tit for tat, quid pro quo with the FBI and the State Department. When it turns out, if you actually read it, it was the FBI that suggested the quid pro quo and not the State Department. So, yeah, I want to see the video.
You know who, do you guys know how? Let me take a step back. It's a new mouth. I'm just working it in. Do you know how the whole tape came out?
Which tape?
The tape, not that.
The Access Hollywood tape?
The Access Hollywood tape.
The Trump pussy grabbing tape.
The pussy grabbing tape.
Yeah.
Do you know how it came out?
No.
Billy Bush was bragging about it at the Olympics. And he was telling everybody this happened. And they, Access Hollywood and the higher ups at NBC, they found it. And so they acquired the footage, but they were sitting on it because the hurricane was happening. And they didn't want the story to get pushed to the side. So at the end of the day, the only person that really is totally fucked here is Billy Bush. And Billy Bush is probably, Billy Bush is like, he's related to the Bushes. Everyone knows who Billy Bush is. Turns out he's a little, creepy.
As long as the Bushes have been in the presidency, I never knew about
Yeah,
Billy
he's
Bush.
the cousin, I believe, of the younger Bush. But so here he is, bragging it up, probably having some drinks with some friends. Like, hey man, this one time Trump talked about grabbing some pussy. We were on the bus together, and now Billy Bush fired.
How much money do you think Access Hollywood has made from that tape?
I don't even. Did they make money?
I don't know.
They didn't sell it.
I don't know.
Didn't they put it out there and get their own exclusive?
Yeah, but
just put it out.
we just now in the last 5 minutes have mentioned Access Hollywood
Right, but does
4
that-
times.
Well, okay, for publicity purposes, the money associated with the publicity of their name, absolutely.
Right.
Tenfold. Tons and tons. But as far as the actual video, I think they just put it out.
I think so too.
I don't think that they
I
sell
love
it.
I love the fact that they waited until the hurricane was over.
Right.
That's actually
They
kind
didn't
of
want
awesome.
it to get kind of caught up in there. So, and actually, it was supposed to wait even longer. But one of the this is some TMZ shit, but one of the executives in there got pissed because they didn't want it held any longer, and then they released it.
I'm glad you found that out. I always wondered why it came out now instead of in the last 11 years.
It started over the summer. Yeah, it started in Rio. Billy Bush bragged it up, probably somewhere in a toga, having a couple of drinks. Like, he's hanging with the cool kids. He's like, him and Ryan Lochte are like, should we go to the gas station, get some drinks? Like, maybe. I'll go back to work. You go to the gas station. We'll do an interview later.
Here's what I like. That the standards to work at Access Hollywood is higher than to become president.
Oh yeah,
of the United States.
absolutely. Well, he's not Access Hollywood. The Today Show. He was fired from the Today Show.
Today Show. I'm sorry.
So.
Wow.
And they're the ones who benefited from all of this.
Yeah.
So he ultimately got the shaft. I mean, he was.
And they got to fire Billy Bush.
Yeah.
He probably got a pretty good chunk of
Oh
change.
yeah, millions.
Yeah.
Millions. I mean, I heard it once. I heard 3 million. I heard 10 million. He hasn't called me yet directly to tell me how much, but Billy, you got my number.
You know what? I now know who Billy Bush is. So
True. I knew who he was before. I just didn't know he was so I don't know what the
creepy.
creepy.
He would fit into.
He was like, yeah.
He would fit into that category of creepy.
He was like, look at her legs. Like, damn. Now that's kind of locker room talk. I mean, that right there, if I'm going to define what I assume happens or what's happened when I snuck into locker rooms.
We have a dude right
That's
here.
the
Can
kind
we
of
ask
talk?
him? Do you go to the gym?
Occasionally.
Do you do locker room talk, or is it just catching your breath after working out?
It really is just catching my breath.
Yeah, but
I don't.
When they
But the
refer to
locker room talk, yeah.
I don't think it's like 24-hour fitness locker room talk.
No.
Like, you're standing there naked with strangers and you're like, did you see that girl on the treadmill? I was going to grab her pussy. I don't think
They're talking about like old men in towels
Right.
sitting in the sauna room.
Right.
Hey, I'm not knocking it. I just haven't tried it. But that's what I picture when they say locker room talk is just Donald Trump in a towel saying, "You could just grab her pussy," and Rudy Giuliani's like, "Yeah, go ahead. Why not?"
Were you in sports when you were in school, high school or college or anything like that?
No, I didn't do sports.
No?
I'm not a very sportly person.
I was in some sports when I was a kid, and not so young to where we didn't talk about stuff in the locker room as girls, but mostly it was about other girls. You know?
Yeah.
Girls talk about other girls in the locker room as opposed to talking about boys. I joined the weightlifting team so I could see the boys' balls because none of them wore underwear underneath their loose shorts. So, you can come spot me, motherfucker.
Win.
More than enough times, yeah.
Yeah, from what I remember from like high school gym, it really is just people bullshitting and treating the locker room like recess.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Lots of tampons flying around.
That was the key.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14-year-old
Yeah.
kids, that kind of locker room talk.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got for a candidate.
Maybe high school. Maybe high school.
But he was 59.
Yeah, 11 years
no,
ago.
yeah.
He's 70 now. He was 59. Exactly.
And he was married, and the person he was talking about was Nancy O'Dell. So.
Who is Nancy O'Dell?
Oh,
I don't even know that name.
Yeah, she is. She is.
that's my locker room.
She's
Oh.
she's also in the entertainment news.
Ah, got it.
category.
Weren't they the Access Hollywood? It was
I
Billy
think
Bush
she-
and
yeah,
Nancy
yeah.
O'Dell, yeah.
The one that greeted them off the bus?
No, that
Oh.
was Ariana Zucker.
Oh.
She's from
You
Days
are
of Our Lives.
you are such a star person. You know
am.
all these names.
If only I could apply any of this in my real life. Like,
Well, you apply it
Well,
to the
it's an
show,
impressive
which is
now.
good.
that's true.
Which is
Well,
good.
This can impress people.
So, anything you want to talk about besides? Can we get off Trump for a few? Just for a few.
Please.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get off.
Anything?
Get
you wanna-
off the Trump horse.
You have a show coming up tomorrow. No. Is it tomorrow?
Yes, we do have a show at Old School Brewing Company. We have Anya Malik. He's our headliner. We got Taurus Fairley, Dennis Lavender, and Jabri Curry are our features. Randall Thompson is hosting, which is going to be great because he's fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be our last big show there. Old School is unfortunately closing down. It's on Desert Inn in Durango.
Right.
So, yeah, please come down to Old School Brewing Company. Join us tomorrow at 9. We'll all be there. We'll all be hanging out and not doing locker room talk. Because we won't be in a locker room.
Well, I don't know. I watched a little bit of your tape, your
Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
and there's some risque stuff going on. in
All
that
my
video.
stuff is risque. I'm messing with people's minds. That's what I do with my stand-up.
Let's get a little background. So,
Yeah.
how did you get into comedy?
I just kind of started on a whim. I didn't really have anything to do for a while. I had dropped out of college and didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of saw a mic. Next week I came, signed up, and I got kind of hooked on it. Started meeting people, and then like a couple years in, I got like the bug and just did it every day after that, and I've been pretty much on that since probably 2014.
Wow,
Yeah,
Now, is this what you do full time?
pretty much, yes.
that's very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Probably hungry a lot though. Yeah.
Yes.
Young
Yes.
comedians are always very hungry.
Yes, feed us internet.
So, how did you develop some of your routines? Some of the things that you talk about.
How do I develop them? How do I explain the writing process?
I know a lot of it's observation. You pick something up.
It is observation, like you kind of see something, or you're just kind of sitting at home and you realize something and it clicks, and then there's just like this web of thoughts that come in, and it all peppers on top of each other, and You write it down.
You're a writer.
You write
guy,
it down,
you write it
and then you do it 500 times until you like the joke. You don't like the joke anymore, and then everybody else likes it, and you feel nothing.
So when you feel nothing inside, then you know it's good.
Yeah, when you feel nothing and everybody's laughing, it's the greatest feeling in the world. You know you've really succeeded with something that you worked on.
It sounds like the beginning of a mental disorder, honestly.
Oh, it begun way before.
I don't know that that's a bad thing, though.
Well, yeah, it's just a lot of work. It's like musicians with a song they write. You know, Radiohead doesn't like playing Creep at shows, that kind of thing. It's just after a while you're like, I'm going to give you this thing now. You show them the enthusiasm because it's the performance, but you're like,
You actually do see that with the more famous, the ones who have made it, I guess.
Especially when a song gets big and it's all people want to hear.
Right. So musicians and comedians even, they'll have a certain shtick that everybody wants them to do it.
And they shout it, and then it's annoying.
Yeah.
Do you get hecklers?
Yes. Oh my God, these people.
Really?
Are they planted?
No.
No?
I wish they were planted. That would be strange.
Sorry, I've been watching
I've
too many
seen
TV
planted
shows.
hecklers before. I've seen planted hecklers, and it's garbage. If you're a comedian or a person who doesn't know about comedy, don't do that. Don't plant hecklers. Also, don't heckle us. We don't like it. You didn't help our set. Everyone wants you to shut up. Literally everyone else in the room wants you to be quiet.
Are you ever like, just fuck you and sit
Yeah,
down?
I had one a while ago where I was doing this bit I was working on about Kanye West. I was kind of taking his side on a thing. And somebody was like shouting and said, "Fuck you, Kanye paid for my house and my Jeep." I was like, I'm kind of on his side on this one thing, though. I don't think you understand that. And then the next week, I was doing a bit about how people in medieval times smelled like horses, probably, because they only bathed once a month. And
I find that funny because I love history, so that's true.
So this guy in the back in a cowboy hat shouts, "You don't know shit about fucking horses." Which is the
Which is
best.
like an opening line.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it was just handed to me. T-ball level baseball, right? That was a good time. But yeah, outside of that, you don't really want it. You want to do your stuff. And you want people to laugh at that.
There are some comedians who become great at
But they're great
shooting
at
back.
They're great at shooting back because they're great at crowd work.
Right.
So you have like comedians who go out and they mostly like to ask questions.
Does that help
they
you
find
with your
bits.
crowd work? It's like
I-
practice. So maybe
It is kind of crowd work practice. You got to work on crowd work. Everybody has to do it, but there are comedians who do crowd work more, and they tend to be better with hecklers just because they're used to that element, and they have so many jokes because I feel like crowd work comedians, they absorb a lot of responses. So they're like, okay, I got this one in the gun. It's ready to go. The second somebody talks to them a certain
Right.
way. They're just awesome and ready. Then you got guys like Bill Burr, who appears to much rather prefer he would just do his material. And he did this set in Philadelphia like a few years ago. And the whole room is just screaming at him. Everybody is a heckler. And he's just going down the list of everything that's wrong with Philadelphia. How their sports teams suck and all the white people are racist. And that their most famous athlete is a guy who isn't even real. And in the end, he's just Rocky. And at the end, he's escalated it so far, and it's just like, what are you gonna say now? Like, what do you have? And he's just like, I'm just gonna tie you all to your chairs and start shooting you in the head. And it's total madness. Like, this whole stadium's yelling at him, and like they disrespected all the comics beforehand, and he got taken off of his stuff. And he was like, well, now I just escalate, take it up, and make whatever I have to say Next, worse than what I just said.
Well, I've seen before where. Who's the guy from Seinfeld? Kramer from Seinfeld?
Yeah,
Where
and
was
he didn't
getting-
handle it well.
He didn't handle it well at all. Like, he went off on a racist tangent.
He couldn't.
Like,
Yeah, he
crazy.
couldn't. He couldn't handle it. He's first off not. He's not traditionally a stand-up comedian. Second, don't call people the N-word, and he just freaked out. He didn't know how to handle the situation, honestly. He could have just told him to shut the fuck up or go, I'm Michael Richards. Why isn't anybody removing this asshole from the room that ruining the show? And he could have just easily have done that, but I think he was just panicked at a level of like stress or something like that where he just couldn't hack it. And
Or hopped up
yeah,
on
a lot of
drugs
people
or something,
hopped
or-
up on drugs or whatever, but like people who don't have a lot of experience say a lot of regrettable shit on stage. Anybody who starts in comedy, you're going to say regrettable things, especially in your first year. But that's where you kind of find out who you are, is like that struggle, because nobody's laughing in the first year. Every now and then you get a chuckle, but it's not a huge laugh. And you fight for that, and to do that, you end up saying a lot of messed up stuff.
One of the stories this week that I was following was Amy Schumer did a set.
Not everyone says the N-word, though. I just want to make that clear. Okay.
Amy Schumer did a set, and then she decided to, I guess, get really political, and she called Trump an orange-haired, college-starting pervert, and she had a ton of people start booing her. She even called a Trump supporter up on the stage, and then she asked the audience who has been sexually assaulted. I think she got like a little too serious in her comedy set, and like 200 people got up and walked out on her.
We were at Sierra and I were at an event a couple years ago, and we were outside. We were set up because we were broadcasting, and what the fuck is her name? Judy Tutio. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember the
What the
name.
hell's her name? Judy something.
Judy
Um,
Tenuta.
Thank you.
Ah,
And
the accordion girl.
Yes, the accordion girl. And so I come back, and Sierra's there at the table, and all of a sudden I see whoosh, like crowds of people coming past the table. And apparently she didn't know her audience. There were a lot of, it was like an event that had like bigger girls there.
Yeah.
And apparently she started like really making
Fat bashing?
fun. Yeah. And then she turned into like, she called one of the girls out and said, that she looks like a man, and it was really, really bad, and everybody just got
She
up
just
there
tanked. She just tanked after the Trump stuff.
so bad. And so later, so everyone, is out, they're angry, they're like finding the one who runs it,
She still made
and
money.
maybe like 15
Oh, yeah.
minutes later, we see her coming past the table with her like manager. I'm like, bye. And she just kept like
Get out.
Well, one of the
Just had to
things
get
that
out
Amy
there.
Schumer did was she talked about it, and she didn't shy away from it or anything, and she
bad
basically said, you know what? I'm grateful for the 8,400 people who stayed. So, 200, whatever.
So now, where else do you perform other than?
I have a show November 5th at the Owl. We do it once a month. We have Sam Talent. He was just at Life is Beautiful. He's also been on Viceland's Flophouse. We have Vegas locals John Gilligan and Alex Just Alex. They'll be our features for the day. And we got our guest Randall Thompson, who's hosting tomorrow at Old School Brewing Company, and my buddy Ryan Mazza, and we got a bunch of drink specials. It's a nice like craft brew place in a back of a room, and everybody would enjoy it a lot if they came. Trust me. Just come down. It's very relaxing environment. It's very intimate. The comedians love performing there. People love watching it. It's Owl at Russell and Valley View. So come to that. It's a non-smoking joint too, by the way. So
Awesome.
don't smoke in there.
Awesome. Where are we at, Johnny Fever? 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Do you have a Facebook page or any contact information?
Follow me on Twitter at FaceSwapDemon.
Yep. We tweeted him today, so you can just go to our Twitter.
Instagram, Time Fudge.
There's a thing called branding you may want to think about. And then, of course,
I do both things.
Darren on Facebook as well. Or League of Extraordinary Nobodies. Make sure you go follow those guys on Facebook. We had a blast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it was fun.
See, it wasn't so bad, was it?
No. Yeah.
We didn't make you the token white guy that had to speak for every white man. Or
Oh,
man,
I've
for
done that
matter.
before. I'm
Yeah.
an expert at it.
Well, we used to do that often, and we try not to do that anymore. We
Understandable.
great pains to stop that from going on.
Most
I'm
of them
Alexia.
can't hack it.
I'm Alexia.
Darren?
Toxie.
We will see you guys next Tuesday.
No.
I know. Can you say?
Yeah, we don't
Can you
understand.
say if you're brave enough?
What?
Just say if you're brave enough.
If you're brave enough.
Later, bitches!